Many of you that are buying a Sprinter van for van life, camping, off-road are probably going to wonder at some point, what's the biggest tire that you can put on your Sprinter van? Even the 4x4 Sprinter vans come with a relatively small tire. They come with a 245/75 R16 tire. And how big a tire you can put on there is a question that really has a couple of different answers. And it kind of fits in the category of how big can you and how big should you. So I worked with the team over at Agile Off-Road to put a different set of wheels and tires on the Sprinter here. And we went with a Black Rhino Venture beadlock wheel to hold the tire on a little bit more so that I could air down more off-road. And in talking with the team over at Agile Off-Road, because of the safety systems on the Sprinter van, the biggest that you can really put on the Sprinter van and really maintain all of your adaptive cruise control and your forward-looking radar and some of the collision avoidance components is 275/70 R18 is the biggest tire that you can put on there. That takes you from about a 28-inch tire up to about a 31-inch tire, a little bit more than 31. It's kind of hard to see here with the way the van's sitting. It's cold this morning, and so it's not doesn't have maybe quite the same tire pressure that it would normally have, but that's a little over 30 inches right now, and I'm kind of sitting in a hole. So about a 31-inch tire. And there's a few things you have to do to put this size tire on here. And even going from the 28-inch tire to this 30 to 31-inch size tire, there are a few considerations that you really kind of should think about before you do. Let me take you through those and show you real quick. So the fender wells on the Sprinter are relatively small, and to even get this tire on here where it will not rub, one of the first things you have to do is there is a fender kit that a couple of different people make that goes right here to open this wheel well back up a little bit more so that when you're turning you have enough room for articulation in the wheel. This one is from Agile Off-Road, and effectively what they have to do is they have to cut this pinch weld back about 3/4 of an inch or so, and then they replace it with this plastic piece right here that opens this fender well back up. So that's something you have to consider if you're going to this 275/70 R17 wheel. The other thing to notice here is even with this, I'm in the backcountry of Idaho right now out on some BLM land. I came in late last night. The snow is kind of melting off. It's kind of muddy here. And you'll notice right up here in the front of my fender well that I've got some mud that's kind of collecting and caking up in here. And so even with the opening up of the fender well, I'm getting some caking of mud in as the wheel turns. Now, I have not lifted this van yet because I haven't completed my interior build, and things like the Agile Off-Road Rip Kit or the Van Compass kit lift the van up about 2 inches or so, which will help with this. But with no lift, you can fit this tire, no rubbing, but you need to work or think about things like this. I was actually a little skeptical about whether I wanted to go to a bigger tire on the van. From the factory, the 245/75 R16s, and it came with kind of a moderately aggressive all-terrain tire. It was very, very rough. Any sort of washboards or bumps in the road, even on the highway, but especially off-road or on a fire road, would just really, really beat you up in the van. And I will say that the thing that I am the most impressed with, probably, with going with the bigger tires is that it immediately improved the ride in the van. Again, factory suspension at this point, but just having the bigger tire volume with a tire that had a little bit more of an off-road sidewall to it. It is still a load range E tire, but the ride of the van has significantly improved. Even when you're not aired down coming back on a dirt road, I was still doing 40, 45 miles an hour, and it was not beating everything around in the van. So that was a benefit that I didn't really think about that much, that I really got out of going with the bigger tires. So this is the back fender well of the van, and you'll notice that you are very close with this rear mud flap with this size tire. The nice thing about this is this wheel doesn't turn, and so all of your articulation is straight up and down in this plane, and so I have no rubbing issues here at all. But you can imagine that I'm going to get some mud caking as or snow or anything like that as this wheel turns, that occasionally you're going to have to clean out. Now, I came in 20 miles or so last night on dirt road to get back to this spot, and I didn't have any issue at all. And the mud's fairly thick, as you can kind of tell on the van, but I didn't have any problems at all. But it's something to pay attention to. So that is the biggest tire that you can use on the Sprinter van and still maintain all of your safety features from Mercedes, from the factory. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful. Please like, subscribe, and tune in for future videos.